bringing that good music. Yahweh International. New Foundation Production presents.
Just a little food for thought, baby. Just a little food for thought. Come on. Just a little food for thought. Just a little food for thought.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Arquise. Welcome to Arquise and the Food for Thought show. Man, what a blessing. And I have a special guest in here. I got Sarah in here, aka we don't know what her artist name is yet.
What's up, guys?
But she's on the good mic. Man, I need to be using that mic more often. This mic is super expensive, but that one sounds better. Yo, it's Black History Month. We're gonna talk about Black history a little bit. Well, not as much about Black history. I actually did a show about Black history, but I want to talk about Blackness, social media, and just a conversation about the state of Blackness. I was watching a comedian today, and they were asking him, I forgot the guy's name, about Black History Month, what it means to him. He says, we need to have a powwow. We need to have a session. He said, all the Black people, we need to get together and be locked in a room for like the whole month of February to get on the same page and then start over in March, which I totally got that. I understood why he said that too. So, you know, because we're not on the same page in a lot of ways. We are like floating on our own islands with our own perspectives we're very individualized. There's no true culture about us. The one thing that we probably did have was hip hop. That's been completely taken over by ratchet social media artists. You know, there was just everything that's always good about us. We either give it away or it's taken away. It's like no sense of self, you know, other than our color. That's really what it seems like it always comes down to, is just our color. Because culturally, you know, when you really look at our impact, it's not like it's not there. It's just other people are running it. You know, back in the day, Black people were the best dancers. Now we can't even win a competition.
It's true.
If you look at any dance competition, other than the Lay Twins, but they're not from here, thank God they showed up, because before them, all the Asians were winning everything. Every dance thing on TV, I'm telling you right now, America's this, that, and the other. It was all. If you go to the breakdancing, the international breakdancing competition, I got news for you. All Asians winning it. You know, so a lot of things that we tend to excel in, we're just slowly just
bowing out of.
Yeah, bowing out of. We're focused on everything but what we're supposed to be focused on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Sarah, you got any thoughts about that?
I mean, in general, I just kind of think Black people have taken on like this negative light, and they've kind of ran with it because now we're getting paid to portray ourselves negatively, you know? And it's kind of like, is the money really worth what you're being represented as? You know, it's a cop-out to me, and it kind of makes all of us look bad. And I don't know, I just think more positive people should step up and make a better name for us, you know, and kind of bring back the integrity to what we're doing, like in the media and as far as music and just anything.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I think a perfect example is how we will sell each other out for money. Reality shows being the premise of that.
Right.
You know, you
right.
figure,
oh my gosh,
I need to turn my mic up. Hold on a sec. This mic was way too low. There we go. Think about like all of these basketball wives and all that stuff. They enjoy watching Black women be completely ratchet to each other. And I'm not saying that other cultures don't do it, Jersey, whatever, whoever, but what's the word? Decisive? No. It's divisional. It separates supporting each other as you know, women, you know, so when you watch it, you get the sense that all Black women are like that.
Right. It's not as negatively viewed when they do it. You know what I mean? And that, like you said, that's not to say that it's not going on, but it's kind of like they expect it from us. So it's more of a mockery when we do it.
Right.
Whereas when they do it, it's kind of like, haha, move on. You know, their whole race isn't looked down upon because of it.
They're still classy.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
We're ratchet.
Yeah.
That's so true. It's like, here, sell out your culture, sell out your people to get this money. You know, so with a lot of these shows, you know, first of all, they're not even reality shows, they're scripted shows.
Right.
There hasn't been a true reality show in decades. So you're going into it knowing what they want you to do.
Right, knowing you're being exploited,
Right.
which is even worse, I think, you know.
Look at here, you know, we're gonna.
It's one thing to just be ratchet, but to be told to be ratchet, and
Right.
to, you know, that's kind of worse to me.
Yeah, they just want you to completely sell out, right, for this money, and the money is never good. The money comes and goes, but your integrity don't. Like once,
Exactly, and once you lose that, you
Jeez.
know, I don't want to say you can't get it back, but in the public's eyes, like what you put out there, that's what they're going to remember. You can change and,
Right.
you know, regret it, but you've already put it out there. So at that point,
Right.
it's kind of too late.
That's very true. You know, so, you know, when I think about Black History Month, like, and I talked about this before, the reality is it passes with no real fanfare. You know, no impact. When I say impact, inspiration. You know, of course, when I was growing up, the responsibility of it was a lot higher because the presence of leaders was more felt. You know, it's hard to believe that now, you know, Colin Kaepernick is clearly one of the most impactful people I've seen in our culture in a long time.
Right.
But they dang near wanted to crucify him. You know what I mean? They wanted to just sit down and shut up. We're not paying you to do this. And he had to make a choice. He did what a lot of us should be doing. Like, there's not enough money in the universe to justify selling out my people. You know?
Right. And sadly, like you said, like one of the first people in a long time, like think about it, every Black History Month now, that's all they really can do is dig back in the history of who did great things for us, because it's like, what currently is anyone doing
Right.
that's not, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Like,
It's
who's hot currently, like positive.
in a positive way, right? That's
And when you think about it, the question is, why do they not highlight these people? Because they exist. Because there are tons of Black educated people. There are tons of black colleges. There are tons of Black Look, all the nurses on my unit are Black. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, there are Black professionals, but why do they constantly shove our negativity down America's throat? They want us to be. They don't want to show the good side of us.
Right.
Even with that doctor show, that can be a little ratchet. There's some kind of doctor reality show on.
what's it called? Medical. Oh man, I know what you're talking about. I
You
know
know.
because I used to watch it.
You got-
That one wasn't as bad.
It wasn't as bad,
It
but
was still bad. But
this is how they do it on a slick slide. You know, if you don't believe that somebody is sitting behind a desk on the high ups and thinking about how can I constantly take advantage of this situation around African Americans, you are deeply mistaken, and let me tell you why. Where do you think all the Black record labels went back in the day when we all owned independent labels during the jazz era? You think just magically some people showed up and just, hey, this is a good idea, and now they're all gone? Or did some people give us some thought and threw some money at us and said, here's $100,000 and we're going to keep your publishing and everything else? And next thing you know, there are no more Black record labels, and
Yeah.
all the publishing is owned by people who never made the music.
that's horrible and true.
And we do it. We keep doing it, you know. But social media, you know, we're going to talk about why you got off of social media.
Oh gosh. I mean, overall, I just believe social media is extremely consuming, and I'm not sure if that's individual to a person's personality, you know, whether or not you have addictive personality or whatever, or if a lot of people feel that way, but they're kind of just too sucked into it to get off. But for me personally, I find myself whenever I'm on it just comparing myself, or, you know, I'm just kind of, first of all, what people put out on social media is not necessarily what's reflecting what's going on in their actual lives, 9 times out of 10.
Right.
So you're kind of like showing what you would like people to see and what you would love for your life to be, but it may not, you know,
Right.
even necessarily be something true. So it's like other people get on there and you see it and you might end up getting depressed or, oh, you know, they look so happy or whatever the case. And you really have to step back and remember, like, just because you're not posting something doesn't mean you're not living your life. Like, I find I'm living a better life without constantly having to let everybody else keep up with it, quote unquote, or to show people that I am having, you know, good times. I don't know. For me, I feel like it's unnecessary and it's detrimental, but that's personal. Some people need it for business or what, you know, or some people can have like a healthy page, but I don't know. I just don't.
It's like social media to me is like the news. No one cares about dog biting man. What's more interesting is man biting dog.
Right.
So it's not like there's not good social media out there. It's just it's not important.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are good elements. I learned things about like YouTube. To me, has YouTube. You have to search out ratchetness, or go on the street. You can find exactly what you need to help you in YouTube.
Right.
You know, it can be extremely helpful in a lot of ways. Versus some of these other platforms are there to exploit you.
Right.
Facebook being one of them. They constantly are getting in trouble around exploiting people's data. And this week again, come to find out that some of the help apps are still accessing your data through Facebook. Some weird thing that's going on with, I'm just tired of Facebook constantly allowing or doing ratchet stuff around our data, you know.
Yeah, and see, I've been off Facebook so long. I don't know on
What's
that
Facebook?
one. What is Facebook?
Look, no one needs Facebook. Yeah, no one needs Facebook. Look, Instagram, let me tell you why Instagram to me is better. I don't have to say anything. I can post a pic and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
That's it. If I really want to, not like you can't post fakeness too,
Right.
but something about Facebook, people's expectation of you sharing more is greater.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I see that.
They want a greater look into your life. You know, so I have a Facebook personal and Facebook business. I prefer to use the Facebook business. You know, social media is about using this tool to benefit you in the positive way and trying not to let the aspect of the negativity of social media,
The distractions of it, you know.
the distractions of social media to throw you off.
Right. Which, back to your question, is another reason I just deleted it. It was just very distracting for me. And I don't think I'll always stay off of it because, like you said, how you made just your business page. Like, if you're on it, you have a specific purpose for it. You're right. It can serve you and it can be very helpful. I don't think it was made for what it has become.
Right.
But, you know, it's widely become something that people just get on for the wrong reasons. And for that reason, I'm off for now until I feel like, you know, I have a specific use for it. That's
Right.
it. Log off, delete app.
Yeah. Perfect example is, you know, I think that the makeup game that you young ladies be doing, you know, I said young ladies. She's a young lady, responsible, holding it down. But when I talk about makeup, you guys are on a whole nother level with it. Now, from my perspective, I think it goes overboard because, you know, I think what I'm starting to see is the contouring and the layering is so in depth. They're using runway level contouring and makeup and walking out that way, but looking so dramatically different to where I can't even recognize who they are. So especially in Black culture, so I stay on task, I'm noticing a 5-shade difference.
Oh, yeah, that is a big thing now.
You're 5 shades lighter than what you're really supposed to be.
Yeah.
But why? Help me understand.
I mean, I don't know. A lot of times even they'll use certain lighting so that they show up lighter in the picture. Like even with these filters, for example, Snapchat, all that. I notice even on the natural makeup filter, which is my favorite one when I had Snapchat, it does make you look like, if I take a regular picture and take one like that, it does make you look lighter. I don't know who's behind that or why we think it looks quote unquote better that way. But yeah, that is probably some underlying, you know, shadery going on by whoever made those filters and decided that lighter was
different
better.
lighting. I want some, you know, and of course from the magazines and stuff, they do different lighting photo shoots, but making it an app and allowing you to have access to these filters is fun. And I know what everyone's gonna say. Lighten up, Marquise. That's fun. We're just having fun.
Is that pun
And it's-
intended? Lighten up.
Fun. You're like, just, like, you're taking it way too serious. If that's the case, then why are people getting plastic surgery to look like they're filters?
Right. Yeah. No, I do agree. Like, I think people have become dependent on it. And like myself included, when I was using it, like I got to the point where like I wasn't posting a picture unless it had a filter. And that I think isn't good. You know, we need to get away from depending on these things to make us feel beautiful. Like,
Right.
and I don't know, me stepping away from posting all the time and just to not having media at all anymore has helped me, because I was at a point where I wasn't stepping out of the house without makeup on, period. Like I could be going to the grocery store.
Do you have makeup on today?
Barely. I very barely.
Like,
But
when you say barely makeup, what is that?
barely is like I lightly drew my eyebrows and put on mascara. Like I don't have on false lashes. I don't have on facial foundation.
You don't have
nothing
no
like,
foundation on.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you could be here. I wish you could be here right now and see the fabulousness
Aw.
of no makeup on. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is her true self. Like, if you saw Sarah right now, and please, guys, if you hear this, don't be blowing me up asking for phone numbers.
Send a pic. I'm just
Don't
playing.
send, you'll find out, because she's one of the artists that I'm working with. But she has hardly anything on. Sarah's always beautiful anyway, but she's another one. I say Sarah and Kayla are two women I know that I've seen them at their base. Absolutely, to me, flawless in a way that, because it's so funny. They've never met, but if they knew each other, they'd be almost like sisters, because the way they feel about life and stuff, they both have certain type of views, but there's also a certain level of insecurity that goes with that. So maybe you don't know. Like, I always felt like Kayla didn't know how pretty she was, and even though if she didn't know the depth of it. You know what I mean? So, and there's an innocence about that. Of course, guys be jocking. We know that. When guys see beautiful women, they jock. But when you see a woman at her base and she's pulling it off without anything, that's what really most men, especially in Black culture, from every guy I've ever talked about, they do not like this phase of the makeup, the contouring and stuff. I hear guys joking about it all the time. They'll call it clown music. Clown makeup. They'll call it, of course you always hear about the mask off. You like, who are you and where's the girl that I, fell in love with, kind of thing. But for women, how would women describe why they do that?
I mean, a lot of it, I think, is just trying to keep up with what we do see on TV and,
Trends.
celebrities, pretty much. Yeah, like what's trending. And for the last, I don't know, I guess probably a little over 5 years, like makeup has been huge. Like,
ridiculous.
If you go back to like 90s, like makeup was really simple, subtle,
Right.
soft, and like they still looked beautiful when you go back
Right.
and look at it. So it's like, when did this standard of full face become what is deemed beautiful?
Right.
But whenever it did become that, I don't know, everybody just kind of, that's what the standard was. And if you're not hitting that, then somehow
Yeah.
you don't believe that you do look beautiful. And that's what has got to go. That mindset has got to go,
Right.
because it's not cool.
For every good thing, there's like a bad thing behind it. It seems that way sometimes. Like, I like makeup. Okay, great. And then, but now you're doing full on clown makeup. No, just kidding. But it's like, I like working out, but now you're doing steroids. You see what I'm saying?
It's a thin line.
It's a thin line. Like, I thought you liked working out, but you wanted quicker results.
Right.
Everyone's trying to get to that thing. But that thing comes with a trap door. You know what I'm saying? I like working out, and then next thing you know, you're doing steroids.
That's so true.
Like,
Oh
or
my
you're
gosh.
taking all these supplements that's completely killing your liver and your kidney. It's just every good thing. Okay, now you're doing makeup, but your face is getting worse.
Right.
Because
your
you're-
real skin is getting, it's horrible underneath. So now
Yeah.
you have to wear it,
Yep.
and
Skin can't breathe. Pores is clogged because you got pound cake. You Betty
Exactly.
Crocker all on your face.
Exactly. And you got to stop and wonder, like, did the makeup companies knew this? Like, they
Yeah,
knew
man.
this would jack up your skin, and now you need it and
They
you're gonna
know.
buy it.
They
I remember
know.
when I first started wearing makeup, like probably, I don't know, 7th grade or something. I had flawless skin back then, didn't know it. And then, you know, I wanted to wear makeup. My friends were wearing makeup or whatever. And they'd always be like, oh, you don't need foundation. And I wanted to wear it. Everyone was wearing it. As I started to wear it, my face did start to, you know, my skin wasn't as clear. Then I had to wear it. And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of, you're fine where you're at, but you think you need something. And then once you introduce it, now you really do need it. You know what I mean? It's better off without. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It
type
ain't
of
broke,
thing.
don't fix it.
So,
and that's what's the. I'm gonna be fair too about it. Listen to me about trends. I want to talk about black people and trends real quick. We're doing a little different thing for Black History Month, and let me pause for the cause and talk about our sponsors, Yahweh International, New Foundation Productions, who support this radio show. Man, thank you guys, Robert, you guys so much, because you're giving us a platform. We're gonna have more interviews this year. We're doing some bigger things, and Sarah's gonna be here a couple times. Why did my Pro Tools just stop? There we go. Sarah's gonna be on here a couple of times, and it's gonna help me loosen up and be a little bit lighter of a host too. Still talking about tough topics, but let me take you back. Let's talk about trending in black people. Look, when I was in school, the hottest dude out. Who do you think it was? Who do you think it was hot?
when were you in school?
When were you in school?
Back in your day.
Back in your day. Prince was it. Prince was the hottest artist out, and I mean hot like fire. He was influencing music and he was influencing fashion. Let me tell you how that plays out. Everybody wore makeup, including me. I'm not even gonna lie. What was I wearing? I would wear eyeliner. That was the thing. Yes. Everybody wanted to look androgynous.
Right.
The more androgynous you looked without looking gay, the better off the girls like you. Because girls,
a thin line.
It's a thin line. Girls would walk around trying to look like Apollonia, trying to look like Vanity. If you was light skinned, brother, you was in. Elder Barges were light skin was in. Prince was in. If you were mixed race, you were so in. Like it was on and popping, you know. So the thing about it was the way the trends Prince was setting trends is because he was blending the androgynous stuff, the more metrosexual stuff, but pushing it more towards the female with lace and stuff that guys traditionally don't wear. But girls liked it. So when girls like something, guys kind of fall in line because all the groups, let alone if it was Ready for the World, Prince, Morris Day and the Time, whatever it may be. Now, I liked Morris Day and the Time a little bit more because they were men and they had this kind of way. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't going overboard with it. They were still cool. And then if you on the Prince side of it, you were just doing too much. That's how I looked at it. You were just doing too much, you know? So, but the reality is when trends get set, if you don't do them, it's like you're not in.
Right.
Now,
right.
It's a weird thing, the pressure of it, because, you know, on one sense, at the same time, breaking hip hop was really taking off. So you had people, you kind of chose a side. And then the funny thing, I was doing hip hop at the same time, which is crazy. I was still mixed. That's a whole nother discussion. But so you had this other trend of New York looking, like people would look like they were from New York. And be really into the hip hop style of things.
What did that look like back then?
People were still wearing like the Puma sweatsuits, like the authentic stuff. People were wearing Kangos, all that stuff.
Oh, God.
You know, and that part of it was really during my junior high school days and high school days. They were wearing all of the authentic stuff. When Prince them came out, it's not that hip hop wasn't happening. It was different. It was transitioning, but it still had a more street look. So you would hear more people were into hip hop thinking that everybody who liked Prince was gay. You know, like if you was riding with that stuff, then you must have been gay. But the reality is the more you thought that, the more I was at your girlfriend's house. That was the trick. That was the hustle.
Oh my God.
If you thinking that, then cool, keep thinking that. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it was working back then. You know, that should be the last guys you should be trusting. You know, because girls were so into Prince, and the more you looked like a Prince, a Morris Day, whatever it may be, the more attraction you got. You know what I mean? You fast forward to now, you got all these kids want to color their hair, doing this look that looks like you're gonna come right out of a circus. Look like Tadashi, whatever his name is, 6ix9ine.
Oh gosh,
that's the craziest stuff that's going on. But you got kids trying to copy it.
Right. Yeah, and it kind of just makes you think, you know, people are just attracted to what's new. That was something different. Like you said, like the hip hop, like that's been around, like been there, done that. The girls are probably like, you know, seen that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was something new. Like people just I don't know. They just flock to whatever's new, whatever's trending. Like you said, and trends just come and go. So once that one's gone, there'll be another one, and that'll be what everybody's hopping on. So
Yeah, because you'd have thought that no one would have ever took mumble rap seriously when we first started hearing it. Look, like I said, like those trends in Black culture, this was a trend that probably did more harm than anybody ever thought, because they were asking you to be illiterate and to act like you can't speak. But I tell people, really what happened is really horrible rappers were on YouTube, and people, I read a lot of the posts that people were putting. They were look, no one was celebrating Lil Yachty and some of these other dudes. They were bagging on them on YouTube. You can go to if they're not taken down now, you can go back and look at all these little this and little that posts and what people were saying about them. How there was not a lot of positive, they were negative. What people don't realize is the more they shared those horrible videos, it made them popular.
Right.
Popular overrides everything.
it's like bad publicity is still
Yeah.
good publicity. Like
Yeah.
when you really.
You made these rappers what they are by clicking on the like or the dislike. Even the dislike makes them popular.
Right.
So I think, a lot of people don't understand that. In your mind, you're thinking when you see anything on social media, if you're clicking dislike or you're bagging on them, this is the era of, bad publicity is good publicity. So in one way, people see what you're saying, and they are seeing that this person or this video or this picture is ratchet or whatever it may be, but that makes them more interested. You know what I mean? So.
Right. It goes back to how you were talking about a lot of these people got famous, for dislikes they were getting or people talking badly about the videos. But
Yeah. Everybody wants to see the train wreck, or everybody wants to see the bad. No one's interested in the good.
unfortunately.
So when I was thinking about Black History Month and the guy that was talking about, getting us all in the room, I thought, what would that be like? Let's just say that all the Black people could fit in the Astrodome, like in the whole entire United States. This is my view of how I think it would go. First of all, we would have the typical Black leaders, Jesse Jackson and whoever else who they're leaders in state people, congressmen, and whatever, telling the mass of Black people what we should be doing. We should be supporting it. It's the same spiel over and over again, right?
It does seem repetitive.
Yeah.
But it's like no one's listening, so
Yeah.
it's like we'll just keep saying the same thing until you guys start doing it.
Right. And it's weird because why would you not listen to it? They're telling you, it's not like what they're saying is not true. The Black on Black crime, blah, blah, blah. But here's my view on that. It's not like there's not a church in every hood. My church in California was in Inglewood. There's tons of churches in Compton, Inglewood, in every hood and barrio throughout the United States, full of pastors, deacons, leaders, and et cetera, et cetera. So if that be the case, you would think they'd be the biggest voice in the community. But the reality is, who do the kids look up to in the community? In Black community specific, who do they look up to?
People in the streets.
People in the streets. That's what they want. The young people celebrate through their music, sometimes the way they dress and they act, the most ratchetest people. The thugs, the hustlers, and the players. That's always been an anthem for young people. No one was going, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I want to be a doctor, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be flossed out. My credit score is going to be just lit.
But why is that? Because that's not what's advertised as like the avenue to success.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's not what they see. If they saw more of it, they might aspire to,
Right.
Be doctors and
Right.
And I hate how people always use doctors, lawyers as like that's the only, there's
Right.
plenty of other ways to be successful, but that's not what they have to look up to, unfortunately.
There's accountants. There's people there's clothes designers. Look, there's a lane for anything creative and intellect that you want to do. Entrepreneurship is just your idea, taking it to the business level. Having an idea like Sarah was telling me her idea. Last year we were talking about her clothing thing she wanted to do, and it sounds brilliant. And I know at some point it's going to happen. And I think what stops people from dreaming big and doing it, sometimes it's finances.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a lack of understanding of how to get it started.
Right. And lack of encouragement. Like, no one's really encouraging people's creative mind. I don't say no one, but since we're specifically talking about, poor areas or just, predominantly Black communities, like, it's cool to all be the same, And it's like, that's not, I don't know. You're never going to find your individuality. You're going to end up doing just what you see. And that might not always be something good. Like, if you don't have good examples set before you, and then everyone wonders why, everything has gone downhill or everybody's going to jail. Like, I mean, what other examples are there? Why the school should be better? Like, I don't know, the people that they have to look up to when they're young. If those influences were better, I feel like everything would change.
Yeah, and I've had some in-depth conversations with our sponsor, Yahweh International New Foundation Production, with Bob, Robert, and them over there, and we talk about that. I think one of the reasons they sponsor the show is I tend, it's food for thought. I can see both sides of everything. You understand what I'm saying? So if you ask me something, you don't assume I'm gonna be all the way left or right. It's just not gonna happen. I can just tell you how they do it. What good is it? What good thing is in it, and then how it goes wrong, And when it comes to Black people, Black History Month, and things that are Black, the good thing is, we're very creative. Some of the inventions, everyday inventions that Black people created, but what's bad in that is how we don't embrace our destiny of who we can and should be. We let others dictate that to us. It's like the knowledge is there. It's not even rocket science.
Right, the ability is there.
Yeah. The ability and knowledge to know how we got here has never been hidden. There's a truth about us that's never been hidden. In my generation, it was more profound because the closer you were to civil rights, the more brighter that thing shined. You couldn't avoid it. You know what I'm saying? Because of course you were living in a more racist state of living. So as time has gone, you don't have to worry about driving at nighttime. Well, that's not necessarily true. Let me just say, not at the level that our ancestors went through during their period. I'm always concerned when a cop pulls me over. I don't care what it's for, because all it takes is the wrong cop, and we're always suspects. So when it comes to how they see us, but as far as this truth about us is concerned, it's never been hidden. It's always been there. And all you got to do is just start walking backwards through our history, and you'll see where it started, how it started, how we lost it, the how to get it back is not even rocket science neither. This is the part when I say, if we're all at the Astrodome, what they say. And this is why I say the leaders would tell us what they've been saying over and over again: buy Black, push education. It's the same stuff.
Yeah, me and my brother were talking about that the other day, actually. We're talking about like the government shutdown and whenever people are going to get their benefits back and all that stuff. And he's like, I kind of have mixed feelings on that. He's like, because if we really all got together, we would not need government assistance. Like if we literally all got in a group and, each put in, just say $10 or whatever, but every Black person in the community, like we could literally help each other. And then the government would be like, oh, whoa, they don't need our help anymore.
Right.
But it's kind of sad to say, but it seems so simple when you say it like that, if we just all get together. But why is that not happening?
Yeah.
If the answer is so simple, and I'm not the first person to, like, everybody's figured it out how it can change.
Right.
But why is it not happening?
Self-hate. That's why. As a whole, there's a self-hate. And it started way back to that. I forgot the letter there was a letter during slavery that this slave master passed around to other plantations. And I got to look this up, the name of the actual letter. But it was how to break the slaves, how to break them. And in a short way to explain it, it was conquer and divide. And by separating, of course, creating hierarchies and doing certain things to make sure that we would self-explode as far as culturally, and that worked well for a long period of time during slavery, passing that theology along to other slave owners. But as time went on and as slaves learned how to read and various other things, as we started educating ourselves, education breaks through all barriers. You know, that knowledge, something about having it. But that's why a lot of African Americans don't like movies about slavery. We're beyond that. Why do they keep doing it? You know, why do they keep having these, you know, movies about slavery? And there's a lot of different perspectives about that. You know, me personally, it doesn't bother me. It's a reminder. Like, you gonna be ratchet out here after all this?
Right.
Okay. You know, nutshell. I tell people I think that people don't like it because you see it and there's a guilt in you of a responsibility,
right?
Like civil rights. You know, when people couldn't go to school, they were going to school getting stoned and spit on. You don't want to see that kind of stuff because you go to school and you skip school. You can go to school freely and you just sit on the phone on you go to school and you be on your phone.
Right. Taking for granted, you know, what we didn't always have the privilege of accessing.
So, yeah, we've gotten to this funk for a very long period of time. Look, just entertain the black people and they'll be fine. But so in the same room, the reality is if you put everybody in the room, who has the biggest say and who has the biggest influence? It's not the pastors. It's not the senators and all these people. It's your players, your hustlers, the thugs, the rappers, the most ratchet. Strippers are lit right now. They have the biggest influence on females than anybody. You think so? Ask Cardi B. Yeah. You can't. How do you combat that? How do you combat a young girl looking at a video of Cardi B stripping and out here getting this money along with her friends and whoever else? You know, they see these girls picking this money and all they're doing is shaking and doing whatever else. And these girls are practicing that at home. If trust and believe that all those dances and everything are getting practiced by our young girls. And now this girl got on a reality show and now is the biggest recording artist ever. Like, come on.
It's all about the image that, you know, is portraying. They make that look like that's what's it, you know, right. That's what it's accepted. And that's not to say I'm not talking bad about shit or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is whatever is put out there and whatever light it's put out in.
Right.
You can literally be brainwashed into accepting it or just thinking, oh, well, this is the new thing. You know what I mean? It could be something that it could have been frowned upon for years. But all of a sudden, media's loving it. Right. Everybody's loving it. You know, I mean, it's the new thing.
Right. It's definitely...
Goes back to the power of media like we're talking about, you know?
We are very susceptible to media. Always have been, always will be. And it's not like it hasn't been this bad before. During black exploitation movies, you would have thought that all black people were pimps and hustlers. This cycle comes back around and around and around and around. We had a period of positive consciousness, and that was probably during the hip hop period when you had your like X-Clans, Public Enemy. You know, it's not like we were not in turmoil at the time. It's just we had had enough. That's why your Public Enemies, your X-Clans, and some of these more positives, Common at the time was probably a lot more pushing more conscious black music. And the problem is there is conscious black music. And I've talked about this before. Clearly there's Christian rap. We know that. Mm. There's positive rap. These are genres. There's conscious rap. There's all sorts of rap. Why do they not push it? I want you to think deeply as black people. And people who are not black who may hear this, I want you to open your heart and be empathetic to the things we're talking about, because you need to ask yourself, if positive exists, if positive music, conscious music exists that lifts up and celebrates our culture, why do the radio stations not play it? Why do the DJs not play it? Why do other people not play it?
I think that answer's obvious. Everybody knows that that's not what they don't want us lifted up. You know, when I say those higher up, right. I mean government. We're not going to get into politics. I'm not even a big politics person, right. But who's in control of the media, the real control of it, not, you know, those who they'd like us to think are in control of it. That's not what they want. They don't want us lifted up. They don't want us unified. They don't want us positive. They don't, I mean.
And you think about it, think about the reason why. And I'm going to tell you why it's this way, because it's the same way in mental health. if certain things happen. Let me break this down to you. Let's just say all black people, we're in this big conference, all black people, and we all decide, okay, look, we're going to do one thing. We're only going to bank at black banks. First of all, black people don't trust black people. So that's the number one reason why there's not a lot of black banks. We don't trust each other. We all know it. It's sad, but we know how it got that way. So let's just say there's an enlightening moment and we all decide to pull all of our money out of banks and bank at black banks. Do you understand what will happen? How the financial world will be shaken right to its core because we are such big consumers. Black people are, look, we may not be able to afford a house. We may not be able to afford all these new cars, but one thing we're going to do, we're going to shop. We're going to get that her. We're going to get them clothes.
Get them J's.
Look, we're going to get them J's. Black people wear a lot of black people, a lot of black youth specifically wear their sense of wealth on them. Jewelry, whatever it may be, cars, whatever it may be. You know, so first of all, it would absolutely shake up the whole financial market here in the United States, and they'd be panicking because now we have all the control. You know what I mean? And let's just say you start buying black products. And we've had this discussion multiple times on multiple platforms. People, this is what I was saying, what people would say, we need to do this, we need to do that. But the reality is we know how strong we are. That's why when you look on a basketball team, look, when we're all on the same page, good things happen. In sports, we kick butt. There's no...
Right. United we stand, divided we fall.
Hey, let me tell you, when it comes to sports, and you know what it is, and you know why it is, let alone if it's football, and then we get our grip on a sport that we wasn't good in, like golf, look what happened, Tiger Woods, but oh, how the mighty has fallen. But I say that to say that in a room of black people where we're all in here, I'm going to say this and I want people to understand this at its best. One, we don't like each other. We distrust each other. We don't get along. We get along when in cliques, circumstances, and opportunity. As far as culturally, there is not a true black culture. We can't say hip hop no more. That was ours for a minute, but that's universal now and it's been completely taken over. So we can't say that. So if hip hop is not ours, what is?
It's a good question.
I got to think about that. What is black culture? If you ask media in other races, what do you think they think black culture is?
I mean, I feel like it has been music for so long that you're right. If you take that away, you really have to sit and think. Like what unifies us? Yeah,
because that was it. R&B, us. We let a few, people that could sing. John B.
The only one we can think of. John B.
We let John B. in. We let a couple people in.
John B's one of us.
But when you open the door, they gonna come all the way in. John B., your Timberlakes, and whoever else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Remember that year Timberlake? I think he won an award for R&B. I gotta look that up. I'm pretty sure it was. I remember going, what? And I'm pretty sure they feel the same way about Tiger Woods and people like that. I'm pretty sure they feel like we let him in and look what happened. He's one of the greats. But so.
But I feel like no hate there. You know what I mean? Like even if I don't know. I feel like even we ourselves do divide things a lot, even though we want to say unity, but even trying to exclude every other race, I don't think that will make us stronger. Nah. You know what I mean? Yeah, we should defend each other because in a sense, only we will get it to a certain extent to be able to back each other up. I do feel like we should stand together, as far as defending ourselves, things like that. But I don't know. It's not unification to just unify amongst a small group and then hate everyone else. Like goes back to Dr. King's theory. Like that's not what he was about. Right. Change doesn't come like that. More hate comes like that.
Right. Right. He was about bringing everybody together.
Right. And I'm with him, honestly. And I feel like that's kind of slowly died. Like people are just like, with us or against us, it's us and it's y'all. Like there is no, all together.
Right.
And I'm not with that. I don't know.
And I never understood like the whole no snitching. Here's my problem with it. This is why it's dumb. It's dumb because you're allowing criminals and people that are doing you harm to set a precedent that you don't tell that you're hurting them. That makes no sense. Stop snitching. Okay. And literally, I know of people who've lost people and didn't snitch, knew who did it. You know, just like, and their reason, you know, is I'm not a snitch. They killed your brother. How are you honoring him? You know, there's all this weirdness. But
I think it's more out of fear of what would happen to them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
if they did.
There is some, definitely there's some intimidation around it. Like if you snitch, what'll happen to you? But that was slowly sold into our DNA, you know, as far as generation after generation. You didn't hear that, you know, I never heard none of that kind of thing, you know. It was said a little different, like stop tattletelling when I was growing up, like go handle it, you know, just if, you know, if you get in a fight, then get out there and fight again. Right. But it kind of morphed. It kind of morphed the same way gangs morphed. Most people may or may not know that gangs, Bloods and Crips, started as community. They were community groups to protect the community from the police. They were not initially gangs in the way they are now. Like I said, it always starts off on the good, but then when you go in a different direction, it changes. Somehow it morphed into something else because in California, because of the violence towards African Americans, the gangs they start forming to protect the hood and do, you know, just whatever the mindset. No different than Black Panthers, you know, always starting off in one way or another, you know, to serve the community. And then, as most people know, there are some little spin-off things that started happening
Power
around.
trips.
Yeah, power trips, drugs, various things. Oh, they know how to get us. It's not rocket science. Give us some drugs. Just you know, just give them some drugs and some alcohol and put a liquor store on every corner. Just say green light, all that. You know, and then we don't even own the liquor stores. We don't.
Yep, advertise cigarettes at every gas station. And
Oh my God. It's not even, they don't even hide it. They don't even hide it. They
it's
don't
definitely in plain sight.
plain sight genocide. They don't even hide it. So for Black History Month, you know, I think the only way to celebrate Black history is to celebrate all of us, the journey we all taken together. There's no way to separate us from white people, Hispanic people, Chinese people. Black history is their history as well. Why is that? Because they're benefiting from our presence. America was built on the backs of slaves. You are winning right now because of slavery.
Right.
Slavery allowed everybody to enjoy what they're enjoying. You know, so everything is connected, you know, let alone if it's Native Americans, their land being stolen, slaves being brought here, building this country, the Chinese doing the railroad. I mean, it's all connected. You can't take a connection out of none of this. It's all connected. We're all one people. And when it comes to America, America is very unique. It's not like South America. I wish it was, where colonial, I can never say that word. Being colonized, comes in, takes over your country, then the majority is so big that you got to leave and they got to give you your country back. Apartheid, you know what I mean?
It's really quite sad how everybody kind of takes each other for granted as a people, because just as much as they need our stuff, like we use their stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything we have is made in China. The foods we eat all different types of cultures of food. Everybody loves our food, you know what I mean? Soul food. We all benefit off of what each other has brought forth or created, or whose culture brought it into being. Like, we all need each other. We all
need
benefit from each other. And I feel like if everyone did come together, it really would just be great. I don't know.
I mean, imagine if there was, oh my God, if there was no racism, what would America be like? Gosh.
It's just sad that we probably can't picture that because we don't even know what that would look
What
like.
would that be? That'd be another discussion. I talked about America in another show. If it was all white, if we all left and they kicked us out, what that would be like. And there was a trap door in that too, because you have to know history. I said basically, if you were white and all minorities left, what was left in white, but then what would happen is they would discriminate. They would start discriminating against the Irish and the Scottish. based off of old history. History always comes back to repeat itself. So, a nation full of white people, then you don't want other whites there who are
Right,
not.
like who's not as well, like kind of like Jews and the Germans. You know what I
Right,
mean? You're
right.
all you're not as pure. You know what I mean?
You're not the blonde. Them Scots, them Irish, I'm starting to rethink that. That's exactly what would happen, because if you know American history, when the Irish came over, then you already know how that would go. That's why racism is stupid, because it always allows a way for it to happen, even within black culture.
Right, we do it. I mean, light skins, dark skins, we do it. You're right. It's not just everyone against black people.
not.
It's really not. It's within every single race.
It is within our culture. I can't tell you how many black girls told me I wasn't black enough. I wasn't
Oh
dark
my
enough.
God, don't get me started. That's a whole nother podcast.
We're gonna talk about that's a whole nother conversation. We're gonna have that for the month rolls probably. But this is Arquise and the Food for Thought show, man. We didn't really play any music. I'm gonna see if I can slide this song in. Let me see what it's. I'm trying to think of the song. They don't understand the struggles of a black man trying to get up and trying to get out. I'm trying to think of the title of the song, but anyway, I'm gonna find this song. I'm gonna play it. I think it's appropriate. It just kind of just my thoughts. A song I made about being black, but the only breakthrough was Christ. Basically, when I was struggling with my own issues around being a black man and how God came into my life and changed everything. Sarah, I appreciate you coming through, and of course, she's gonna be here again. You want to say anything?
I think my mic's off.
No, your mic is still on.
Oh, I don't hear. Oh, there I am. I just want to say thanks for having me, and I'm excited to talk about next week's topic because I got a lot to say on that. But
yeah, that's what's up. All right, it's your boy Arquise, the Food for Thought show, man. Y'all International New Foundation Productions. Much love. Peace out.
So you don't forget where we came from. I want to share these stories with you. The struggle goes on. Just because you doing good don't mean everybody else is. That's real. Soldier time. Cause they don't understand the struggle. Gotta stay real. Cause they don't understand the struggle. Yeah. Gotta stay real. Cause they don't understand the struggle. Gotta keep it real, y'all. Gotta stay real. Cause they don't understand the struggle. Gotta stay real. Cause they don't understand the struggles of a black man trying to get up and trying to get out and doing it the best we can. Some in the place that you people call the projects, and in the hood, my people's getting no respect from the people on the outside, locking their doors, closing their windows, trying to hide. No longer black, I'm just a menace to society. Now open your ears, cause they talking about you and me, cause they don't understand the struggles of a black man. You gotta stay real, cause they don't understand the struggles of a black man. You gotta stay real.
Just a victim of society.
You gotta stay real.
Only Jesus Christ can set you free.
You gotta stay real. They say we all drinking 40s, we all smoke dank. They say we undereducated and we just can't think, and so we sell it, and so it must be true. There was a drive-by shooting, the kid dead at age 2. Juveniles, you living heck of foul. You're wild, you steady tripping, but in the meanwhile, another child just lost up in the race. She's nothing but a number on the case. Check it out now, cause they don't understand the struggles of a black child. You gotta stay real, cause they don't understand the struggles of a black child. You gotta stay real.
Just a victim of society.
You gotta stay real.
And only Jesus Christ can set you free.
You gotta stay real. Yeah. No matter what your struggle is, there's hope. You have somebody on your side, and that's my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He'll bring you through these situations. Come on. With the rat tat 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 goes the cat you on your back. You live it whack. You need to get your life on track now, huh? A black fiend. She used to be my black queen, highly educated. She tell me what it means. What it means when the mother's on crack, cause there is no turning back. Now baby, that's the facts. No Martin Luther King, no Huey or Malcolm X. You need to stand up because you might be next, cause they don't understand the struggles of the black race. You gotta stay real, cause they don't understand the struggles of the black race. You gotta stay real.
Just a victim of society.
You gotta stay
can set you free.